Hi everyone, welcome back to Revolve headquarters. Today we're going to make a wonderful dessert celebrating a few of my favorite ingredients. We've got peaches and we've got raspberries. It's going to be delicious and we're going to be using our cast iron griddle pan, which is going to make the most amazing grilled peaches. So let's get started. Let's first begin by halving the peaches. Before I do, I'm going to put the griddle pan into the Revolve, get it nice and hot. Perfect, so I've got that on a high flame. We're going to heat up that griddle pan and that's going to help us caramelize our grilled peaches. So with the peaches, just half them like that. These are really nice and ripe Australian peaches. Look at that, delicious. Okay, and just take out the stone and we'll keep them as halves, and they're just such beautiful fruits. So just run your knife, twist, and they'll come out like that. Take the stone out and place it like that. Okay, and now what we're going to do to help encourage the caramelization, we're just going to take our peaches and we're going to dip them in some sugar. Okay, so we just take up half peaches, put them in some nice caster sugar, and that way that'll help the caramelization. And my favorite thing about grilled peaches is really it brings out such a different flavor in the peach. When you start caramelizing those sugars, it just becomes a much more mature flavor, just brings out a really nice, intense peach flavor. And there we go, there's our peach halves, all nicely sugared. And now let's take the griddle pan out of the oven. That is smoking hot, which is perfect. We're going to go straight in with our peaches. That's the sound we want.
Yeah, I got it.
Now the key is to turn the flame down in the Revolve, and we're going to slow cook them, and the heat from the griddle pan is going to caramelize one side. Now, while the peaches are grilling nicely, we're going to take our raspberries and we're going to do a raspberry coulis. So we place all our raspberries into a pan, and then we add a little bit of lemon juice and some sugar. Now, depending on how sour these are, we'll add more or less sugar. Oh, raspberries are my favorite. So just a little bit of sugar is enough. I like to keep it a little bit tart, and actually we'll add a little bit of lemon juice as well, which will just add an extra dimension to the coulis. Okay, that's enough. And there are a few different ways of making coulis. The most basic way of making coulis is just to blend raspberries, but I quite like it when you have it cooked and it has a bit more of a rich, more kind of reduced coulis effect, and then you get a really nice raspberry intense flavor. So I can smell the peaches are starting to really nicely caramelize, so I'm going to take them out and have a look. Let's have a look at what they look like. See how they're developing. Very nice. Okay, the sugar has started to melt, but we can take it further. So let's put it back in and wait a little bit longer. It's worth it. All right, look at these beautiful peaches. So I just turn them over for the last minute or two just to help the caramelization. But the important thing really when you're thinking about grilled peaches is you want to get it nicely caramelized, but at the same time you need to give it enough time for the whole peach to get soft. And that's exactly what's happened here. So we have caramelization and we also have cooking involved. That's why we use the lower flame, just so that it has enough time for the whole peach to get nice and soft and cooked through. So really important. Now, instead of talking, what I should next do is get these raspberries in to the Revolve. I'm gonna add a little bit of water. That's gonna help to create a raspberry coulis. Now we're gonna serve these grilled peaches with a nice Greek yogurt, and we're gonna run the raspberry coulis through the yogurt. But I just want a couple of toppings that are gonna give a little bit of a crunch and also a nice flavor. So we've got some macadamia nuts and we've got some coconut shavings. And we're gonna toast the coconut shavings and the macadamia nuts quickly in the oven just to bring out the flavor. So we'll just cut these macadamias up a little bit. Just roughly, you want some small bits, you want some big bits, but basically we're gonna get a really nice crunch. Okay, so that's perfect. Some big bits and some small bits. Now I can smell the raspberries. So let's have a little look at the raspberries. And you can see they're starting to bubble really nicely. This is the perfect moment to get in there with a fork and just mush up the raspberries until we have a sauce. Then we'll put it back in to let it reduce. Okay, all the raspberries are broken down. Now we go back in and let that reduce. Then we're going to pass it through a sieve. Raspberries and peaches. The perfect combination. We've got some really luxurious Greek yogurt here, and that is going to be the base for our grilled peaches. So I'm also going to toast some of these macadamia nuts. So we just put them into a little frying pan. We'll roast these up and we'll also roast up the toasted coconut as well. And that'll just, with some of these dried ingredients, especially nuts, spices, stuff like this coconut, if you just toast it, it brings a whole different flavor profile. And it also looks pretty as well because you get a little bit of a singe, especially on this thin coconut. You're just going to get a little singe on the edges, which is really pretty. Wow, the most beautiful smell, this raspberry coulis. And we're just going to pass it through a sieve, and that way we're going to get rid of all the seeds and we're going to have a beautiful sauce. Now, I wouldn't waste these seeds and put them through a smoothie or something. Still a lot of flavor. Now we have a beautiful raspberry coulis here. Let's try the flavor. Delicious. That little bit of lemon juice really adds something. But we can take it further. At this point, it's still quite runny, and I prefer it a little bit thicker because we're going to run it through our yogurt. So we're just going to put it back in the Revolve just for a minute or two, just to thicken it up a little bit. So we're just going to put it back in the pan. Ha! That is it. This is exactly what I was talking about, a nice thick coulis. So that's reduced by half. Now we're going to put our coconut shavings and our macadamias in the oven for no more than a minute. 30 seconds, keep your eye on it, just let it toast. And that's it, 30 seconds, no more than that. And you can see these wonderful coconut shavings have just taken on a beautiful color, as well as the macadamia nuts, and the smell has just come alive. So now it's time to plate our dessert. I'm going to get some mint from the garden. Might heat these up just for a second. Okay, time to plate this beautiful dessert. So we'll start with our raspberry coulis, and we're going to ripple it through our Greek yogurt. Okay, we'll just work that through our yogurt just to get that raspberry ripple effect. we will put some more of the raspberry on top of our peaches. Then we take our peaches, beautiful and soft and caramelized, sticky. Oh yes. Then we take our toasted coconut, place that around, and our macadamia nuts. Then we take our mint leaves, and we finish it off with a little bit extra raspberry coulis just over the peaches. And there is our beautiful grilled peaches with raspberry coulis, toasted coconut, macadamia nuts, and Greek yogurt. A perfect way to use the cast iron pan to get a really nice flavor on those peaches and to bring everything together. Finish a pizza party with this. Everyone's gonna absolutely love it. Enjoy, guys. Thanks for watching.